What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Rich back in the building one more again. Real Talk with Rich is back for another episode of shenanigans and tomfoolery and everything Black Comics. Want to shout out to Black Comic Lords fam. Want to shout out to Black Superheroes Forever fam. Hope everything is well on your side of the world. And I want to shout out to everybody that's in the chat. What's going on? Y'all come on in. Before we get to the show itself, I want you guys to, if you have not, since you're coming in, just hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you haven't, press the little bell for the notifications. Do that. Like, share, subscribe. Let your boys know that your boys live, and we doing our doggone thing tonight. Y'all can put this on and have the game in the background. There is a football game going on right now. Packers and Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Saw a lot of good football today. So, man, I gotta say that doggone 49ers. Yeah, the 49ers ain't no joke. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to the Eagles. Y'all got punched in the mouth. But anyway, yeah, man. So we here, and we got a show tonight. You know what I'm saying? Hope everything is good on y'all end. Getting you ready, getting your week started with your boy. So that's what's up. So anyway, the super duper producer Derek is traveling, so I got my man Paul doing the production work. Want to shout him out. Want to thank him for his help on tonight. We're gonna get into this. So also, while I'm also thinking about it, please like, share, and subscribe again, as I said. But also, support the movement, support Black Comic Lords. We trying to make some things happen, and we working behind the scenes, and I'm telling you, we out here grinding. So please, if you deem us worthy, hit us up with a super chat. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Show your boy some love. Show the movement some love. We gotta keep the lights on in this place. We just got off. I just finished talking to Paul about upgrading the equipment. Yeah, we need to, but it ain't time yet. Got to get a little bit more bread. So until that happens, we're gonna do what we got to do. So what's going on? Shout out to Dion behind the scene. What's going on? Pericles, I see you. Resident 76, what up? Frustrated fans, appreciate you being here. That's what's up. That's what's up. Tron World, what up? Durka says no one cares, but I'm here. I care that you're here. Welcome. That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. Peace and power. I know that's right. So let's get into it, guys. So before we get into the pages, we're gonna do what I like to call outside the pages. Whoa, my man has already hit us. Shout out to Dion. Black Comic Lords is worthy of the clout hammer.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the love, Dion. So yeah. So let's get into this, man. What up, Sierra? Got the Queen Sierra in the building. So first thing I want to talk about Godzilla -1. Okay? Godzilla -1 was an incredible movie. And I'm going to say that it is the best Godzilla movie I have ever seen. And I am a Godzilla fan from back in the day. I'm talking about the cheesy Godzilla movies, the cheesy, wonky, crazy, bad CG, and bad graphic special effects from back in the day. But this Godzilla movie is a real scary, horrifying movie. Shout out to Japan. Let me just tell you guys, I'm not gonna spoil it, because I'm telling you, this is worth the price of admission. If you are a Godzilla fan, I'll say it like that. You got to be a Godzilla fan. But it's a good movie because, one, it's a timepiece. This is not a modern Godzilla movie. This is the movie that takes place back in the 1940s during the war, or I should say, the after effects of war. The reason why the movie is called Godzilla -1 is because Japan is devastated. through, we dropped 2 bombs on Japan, right? And now you got to deal with Godzilla 2 on top of it. So yeah, that's what the -1 means. So what up? What up? What up? Frustrated for the super chat. Hit him with it, bro. That's what's up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Frustrated. Always support. Much love and respect. Thank you. So yeah, man, this movie is a pretty good movie. I'm telling you. I am telling you, as you know. And here's the thing: you don't necessarily have to be a Godzilla fan to enjoy this movie, because the movie Godzilla is in the movie, but it's a larger story that looms in the movie. And it's suffice to say that, without giving the story away, it's basically about I would say, a failed kamikaze pilot who's trying to repair his life. Okay. And with Godzilla showing up, doing what Godzilla does, tearing up stuff, breaking up stuff, killing a whole lot of folk. Godzilla goes hard in this movie. I'm telling you, the Japanese did not play. Now, I know that there's a Godzilla King Kong franchise that's out by Legendary that's doing the Legendary movies or whatever. This ain't it. This is the OG Toho production Godzilla. They go in this movie. So, but suffice to say, man, if you got some time and you just want to have some fun, it is a super duper. It's not a scary movie, but it is a horror movie. I'll say it like that. Because, we've all seen movies where people see Godzilla and they'll scream and they'll run, and it looks like it's not, it looks cheesy. No, these people really look terrified of Godzilla. And Godzilla ain't playing. This is not one of those Godzilla loves the earth and he's trying to predict mankind. No, he's killing mankind in this movie. So go check that out, man. I'm telling you, Godzilla -1, you won't be disappointed. It's a good movie, y'all. That's what's up. That's what's up. He said, man, I don't watch Facebook, but I stopped writing to watch this. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. Bang, bang, in TV Media. All right. Let's go. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and transition to our first article. Our first article is a Yahoo article. Now, if you've been around for the last couple of weeks and you haven't been under a rock, you know that there was a movie that came out called The Marvels, the latest MCU movie, which flopped, right? So when things go south like they do, or like they will do, people start pointing fingers and start blaming folk. And Disney is not above the pettiness. So what did they do? Bob Iger throws Nia Costa under the bus, says Marvel needed more supervision from execs. According to this, The Marvels stands out as the biggest box office flop in the history of the MCU, having made less than $80 million domestically since it came out about a month ago. And while the star, Iman Vellani, doesn't care and is happy with the work she did, others are desperately looking for someone to blame. Disney CEO Bob Iger is one of those people, and he has decided magnanimously to blame himself and other Disney execs for the film's struggles in what may be the crappiest, most insulting way possible. Iger fell on his sword while having to wave his arm, shouting, "Look at me falling on this sword," while at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, saying that since The Marvels was filmed during COVID, the virus is still around. For the record, there wasn't much supervision on set from the executives that would normally be looking over what's being done day after day after day. In other words, the movie is bad because people like him weren't on the set to give DaCosta notes. So here's the deal. Now, when I am an old head, and I say that facetiously, but I remember there was a movie years ago called A Bug's Life. And in the movie, they say something that is very, very critical to business. And one of the things that the grasshopper says in the movie is that when you are in management, everything is your fault. You don't push the blame on no one else. You get paid the big bucks to take the blame. You get paid the big bucks to take the hit. That's why CEOs, they make an outrageous amount of money in this country. However, when something goes wrong, they are the object of scorn. They are the ones who have to get shot. You don't you don't put the blame on nobody else. But it's Disney, and it's what they do. So Iger says, well, you know what? If we'd have had more executives on set to handle the day-to-day, then, well, this could have been a better movie. Well, you're stating the obvious, Bob. You gave Nia Costa bare bones budget. You didn't do everything that you needed to do story-wise to make the story pop like it should have. You didn't promote the movie, but I guess it's Nia's fault. And you expect us, the buying public, the people that love Marvel MCU movies, to buy it. I'm not giving you a pass on this, Bob. Matter of fact, I'm not going to call you no longer Bob Iger. You're going to be Igor. Because what you just said was very gross. That was a very grotesque thing to say. You don't put it on someone who is simply trying to do their job. Now, here's the thing. This movie has the shortest time of any Marvel film, 1 hour and 45 minutes, which tells me the most average Marvel movie is 2.5 hours. So they left a lot of stuff. They cut a lot of stuff out this movie out. If a DVD comes out, it's probably going to have an hour's worth of footage that they couldn't put in the theaters. Either way, you really it gets, I'm just having a problem with Disney. You know what I want Disney to do? This is what I want Disney to do. Now, y'all just put out a movie called Wish that bombed at the theaters as well. It is not an MCU thing only. Disney is trash all the way around. All the way around. So you know what I want you to do, Mr. Igor? You know what I want you to do? I want you to go back to the drawing board. I want you to write a Mickey Mouse movie. Do what Disney does. Do what Disney does best. Mickey Mouse. When's the last time anybody seen Mickey Mouse on screen? When's the last time we seen Goofy on screen? Donald Duck? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, get back to that. Leave Star Wars and Marvel alone. Y'all go back to the basics. Go back to the basics, because you guys are just trash for this. Throwing people under the bus. There have been movies that have bombed, right? But no one blames the director for the movies for being terrible. Oh, it's bad because we didn't have enough, the executives on set. What were the executives going to do, Bob, that she wasn't able to do? Was y'all really going to open up the checkbook and give her more money? Really? This what you doing, Bob? Okay. Fine. So you decide, in all of this nonsense, you decide to go and get the guy that been tearing up the Thor movies and give him the Star Wars franchise. Shout out to all you Star Wars fans. Y'all about to get another trilogy of trash. But it's Disney. It's what they do. It's what they do. Y'all grab y'all popcorn, because it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better over at Disney. Man, I tell you, I do not understand. I do not understand. But anyway, so let's move along. Let's get into some comic book stuff. All right. Marvel's Gang War is already out, okay? And first couple of issues have come out already. There's a preview, says, in the preview for Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike by writers Zeb Wells and Cody Ziegler, artists Joey Vasquez and Julian Shaw, and colorist Brian Valenza. The titular hero finds himself chasing down the nearly untouchable villain known as Slide. And while Peter is incapable of pinning Slide down on his own, it isn't long before Miles Morales shows up to lend a hand. Okay? Unfortunately for Peter, Miles isn't interested in catching costume criminals as he is calling out his buddy, okay, for all the time that he's been away, not to mention the lack of any acknowledgement since in the time he since returned. What up? What up? What up? Shout out to Boycott Activity with a super chat. Appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So there's a new series out, y'all, and it's called Gang War. And there are several gangs in the city, in New York City, that's doing damage, right? And so this is the actual one of the actual books that would, I guess, lead into this crossover story, because it's like I want to say 4 or 5 different books that crosses over. We're going to talk about Luke Cage in a bit because this is one of the crossover books. But I figure that since we got a lot of Miles Morales fans, y'all might want to go check this out. Miles is getting at Peter, what I'm saying, for whatever reason. He just happens to be in Brooklyn and Peter's in Queens, and Peter's been, I don't know, Peter's been doing what Peter does. I'm not reading the Amazing Spider-Man run. I've heard a lot of people talk bad about it, but something's going on with it to where Miles is comfortable calling out Peter. And I'm like, I thought this was your guy. But you guys figure that out. You Spider-Man fans, y'all figure that out. I'm just waiting on the next iteration of Into the Spider-Verse. That was an amazing cartoon. I can't wait for the Prowler. I need more of the Prowler. I need more Spider-Punk in my life, on screen anyway. And there's a new comic book too coming, new Spider-Punk comic, written by Cody Ziegler, matter of fact. So anyway, we got that going on. However, just to give you some insight too, this also attracted the attention of current mayor Luke Cage, which is weird. Luke Cage is a mayor. This is my Luke Cage. Okay? This is my Luke Cage. The Luke Cage in the comics now, he's bald. He looks presidential. I want my man with the fro and with the tiara and the anger face on his. I need that dude in my life. Now Cage is Cage, and I'm good with that. But I just need that dude in my life. So here, check this out. So the Luke Cage book that just came out. Appreciate you, appreciate you, Paul. The Luke Cage book that just came out, written by Rodney Barnes. Dope read. It's got some pretty good elements to it. It's got off to a real good start. It's going to be 4 books, 4 issues. So, and this, I want people to understand and know that this is a part of the crossover. So if you're looking for something for a long-term Luke Cage book, this isn't it. This is actually just for this particular run. Now, will they do something different afterwards? We'll see. But this is, Luke Cage is a critical part of this crossover story. And, he's the mayor of New York City. And what happened is, just to give you guys some backstory or whatever, Wilson Fisk, the kingpin, he was mayor, right? And Luke Cage beat him, okay? So, but before he leaves office, he gives Luke Cage a middle finger. That middle finger, ladies and gentlemen, is in the Anti-Vigilante Act. So there's a headband, which we don't call it a tiara. It's a tiara. You got to know I was being facetious when I say that, Pericles. So check this out. So Wilson Fisk puts this law in place, right? Now Luke Cage has got to navigate. He's 2023's Barack Obama. He's got to deal with a lot of junk from the previous administration. So Luke Cage is like, man, villains are going to villain. I got to find a way to stop this stuff. So what he does is he gets his secret vigilante thing going on. It's got a new uniform. He's recruited some new people, some old favorites. You guys, if you haven't read the book, I don't want to spoil it. It's a pretty good read, though. And Rodney Barnes, the OG, is writing it. So y'all go get that. I promise you. You will not be disappointed. But, Tombstone is going to be in this book. A few other villains that are going to be in this book. It's a It's a street level book. If you're looking for something cosmic, this ain't your jam. Me, I like them streets. Let it get, real good, real gully in these streets. Yeah, I love Luke Cage, so that's what's up. So go pick that up. It's already out. You know what I'm saying? If you have not, pre-order it, because like I said, it's going to be 4 issues. And so I'm not going to, buy all of all the Gang War books, but I am buying these 4 that are going to be out. So, and another book should be out this month also as well. According to the solicits, I do believe it'll be out before the end of the year. So that's what's up. Frustrated says, love the new Luke Cage move from protecting the neighborhood to protecting the city. Yeah. It's cool, man, but he got his uniform on. Not uniform. He got his suit on. He got his tie on. You know what I'm saying? But he has to take his stuff off. You know what I'm saying? He gets shot with bullets. But y'all go. I don't want to spoil it. Y'all go check that book out. Go get that book. So with that said, we're going to get to our next article. Now, this is going to be kind of fun, y'all. Superhero Hype put out a article. Dark Horse announces new superpowered graphic novel. Now, let's talk about, without getting really into the article itself, let's talk about the power of Black Twitter. Okay? There are people who spend their life and their livelihood and their precious time twittering away. It's called X now, but you know what it is. So anyway, last year there was something going on around the winter solstice. And people were talking about when the winter solstice gets here, Black folks gonna get superpowers. And people were really running with this, okay? They were really running with this whole thought that Black people were gonna wake up with superpowers, right? Of course, the solstice came. And yeah, and taxes were still high, economy was still in the trash, and Black folks still struggling. So yeah, but one of the things that came out of that was some inspiration, which is why we here. Dark Horse announces new superpowered graphic novel. Dark Horse Comics has announced Black Solstice, a new original graphic novel from Trayvon Free, Martin Desmond Rowe, and Remo Massa. Black Solstice arrives in bookstores on Tuesday, December the 19th, and comic shops on Wednesday, December 20th, just in time for the winter solstice. Last winter solstice, the world was transformed when every Black person in America gained superpowers, powers that gave the unthinkable amount of hope, but then disappeared the following morning. Now, with only 3 days before the next winter solstice, the entire nation is holding its breath, waiting to see if the powers will return. Okay? So, again, this is a funny story, but it's based on what was going on Twitter. Somebody actually took the idea and created a story. So, basically, the writer says, it kind of felt like magic, all of this interacting with different people. And putting this book together, we traced the idea back to an idea. And after digging around, we found out it just wasn't one idea, but it kind of formed piece by piece, bouncing from tweet to tweet. And from sincerity to irony, in the weeks leading up to the solstice, when it just dumped joy all over the timeline. And everyone proved once again Black Twitter is the most creative place in the known universe. I won't go that far, okay? A lot of shenanigans go on in Black Twitter, but I get the point. I get the sentiment. So anyway, according to Dark Horse, the goal of Black Solstice is to honor the joy and the fun of the Twitter conversation and flesh it out into a complete story that everyone can enjoy. Shout out to the people over at Black, because they probably gonna sue y'all for stealing their idea. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that was something that happened organically. Okay, so I'm just joking when I say that, but it is an idea where Black folk wake up and have superpowers. That's not a new concept, but for this particular thing, it's gonna be pretty cool just to see, because I remember those times when people were running around saying that, and it's like, well, what kind of superpower do you want? What kind of superpower do you want? That kind of stuff. real nerdy stuff. But yeah, so December 19th, y'all go to your shop, pick up that graphic novel. Dark Horse is out here doing work. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next. We're gonna talk about Steelworks. Steelworks issue 6 just came out and wrapped up. So basically, Steelworks, written by Michael Dorn, has just wrapped up. Story is over. So in retrospect, if I have to give this series, if I have to rate it like 1 to 5 stars, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I'll give it 3.5. It wasn't the best story, but I think that it was okay. It was okay. Best issue of this particular story run is probably issue number 5. And the reason why I want to highlight issue number 5 is because in issue number 5, Steele is talking with Lana, who's his fiance. Okay. And his fiance is talking to him, and he's kind of, thinking about, he's having a deep thought moment. Okay. And he brings up John Henry, who Steele is actually named after. Okay. We know from history, from folklore, that John Henry was a steel driving man, right? And he fights a machine, right? And he wins, but he dies in winning. And so he's talking about that story and how he felt that John Henry was a fool because he was fighting against the future. He was fighting against technology. And the truth be told, in this world that we live in, what's called the information age, information doubles. I don't know what it is now, but I know a few years ago when I was doing a research paper, when I was getting my graduate degree, information at the time was doubling in like every 2 years. So it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 6 months now. But information just increases. This is literally the information age. Frustrated say it was a really tame story for a DC book. Yeah, well, it's not I wish it could have been a DC Black book. They could have really dug deep and got into it. But, Dawn of DC has not exactly lit the fire under a lot for DC fans. Frustrated, you know what I'm saying? That sentiment is not just germane to that book. You can talk about Cyborg book. It's very tame. And I'll be honest with you. I honestly think that these books, particularly Cyborg and Steelworks, I hadn't read much else outside of the Dawn of DC stuff. I've read the Amazon's Attack. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's been very tame. I don't know if they're trying to go after younger people. They're not marketing that way, but it does feel very tame. So anyway, going back to my point. So Steele is looking at this thing like, you know what? I don't want to be this fool doing what he did. I don't want to die in the suit, because that was the thing about him trying to run a corporation and leaving the superhero stuff alone. He wanted the suits to be a part, but he also wanted to kind of be like Tony Stark and have a armored suit all over. He was getting his Tony Stark on in essence, but he was just really just waxing poetic over all of this. And it was like I said, it was an okay book. It was an okay book. Shout out to Michael Dorn. For those of you who don't know who Michael Dorn is, he's the guy that played in the Star Trek movies. He played the King Arthur. It was the Worf, I want to say his name was. But he's the guy that wrote the book. I think this is like his first book, and I think he did a pretty good job for his first time out. So hopefully he'll keep Steelworks around. I do think that Steel will be around in terms of Green Lantern. I think he's going to be doing some stuff in the Green Lantern books and in the Action Comics. I know with Superman, he's going to be doing some stuff with Superman as well. So yeah. So it was, like I said, it was a pretty good book. So I don't know if you guys picked it up or not. Pick up the trade. I think it'll read better as a trade. That's the thing about comic books of late for me. Comic books are not doing it for me on the floppy issue. I'm starting to lean real hard into maybe starting to just get trades. Because to go out and get these books week, month after month after month, waiting on them or whatever, and not able to really get into the story, because there are things in issue number 5 in this particular book that probably should have been in earlier issues. Because you dig into like the backstory of the story, if that makes any sense. There's some throwback scenes that go back to how things with the corporation came to be and the things that John Henry had to fight through to make this company what it was. We had to get to 5 issues to see that. And while it's okay, you know what I'm saying, again, I think that the being able to just sit with a comic book and really just able to just sit and read. A lot of these books, you're able to read them real quick, and if outside of a cool cover, 20 pages or whatever it is now, it's just not a lot, man. It's not a lot of content for $4-5 a comic book. That's all I'm saying. Durga says, I can't find, bring that back up, Paul. I can't afford comics. I read what I can find at the library. Listen, I am a proponent of going to the library. So shout out to you, for real. Go to the library. If you know that you ain't got the bread to go out and get these books like that, go to the library. That's what I do. I go to a library and I will try to find a trade. If it's something I think I might be interested in, I try to find it at the library, knowing that, okay, if I like it, read it or whatever, if I want to collect it, then I can go buy it. But if I read it and I don't necessarily like it, or it was just cool and I don't really need to go buy it, I'm good. I didn't spend no money. Use your community resources. I'm all for going to the library. So shout out to you for real. Behind the scenes says, it just makes more sense to get trades. Floppies are starting to feel outdated in the super fast entertainment age. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I mean, it is what it is. It's like the situation with, I mentioned Amazon's attack. Amazon's attack issue 2 just came out. I bring up Amazon's attack issue because Nubia's in it. Okay. Now, here's the thing about Nubia. Nubia, and I don't know if this has anything to do with how she's been. Well, it has everything to do with how she's being written. Nubia is self-conscious about who she is. She's self-conscious about who she is. She's always reminding people that she's the queen, or that when she gives an order, it's because she's the queen. Now, I'm the type of person I challenge people, from a spiritual standpoint, in that especially if you're a guy, if you have to always say that you're the man, you're probably not the man. And so with her kind of just, throwing it out there that I'm the queen and this is how it goes and that kind of thing, that's kind of letting me think that maybe you got a little low self-esteem going on with you. You don't have to throw your title around. Everybody knows who you are. Okay. It's painfully obvious the way you're being written that everybody knows who you are. When Hippolyta was queen, she didn't do none of these shenanigans. And I mean, it's something to be said though about, being comfortable in your mantle. If you're having to constantly remind people certain things, you're probably not that. And you got an issue that's going on the inside that you need to work out. Eric says, if you have to remind me, you're trying to convince yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Message.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying? And again, that's why the Dawn of DC stuff, it hadn't really been that great. It hadn't been that really great. I mean, what I'm saying? The Green Lantern stuff is okay by Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's been great. But outside of that, the Cyborg book has been okay. It's been okay. I'm just tired of them telling the same story over and over. Let Cyborg be a real superhero. And if for whatever reason he was a part of the Justice League, but for whatever reason he shines best in Titans. I don't understand that, but I guess but it is what it is. I just, they could do a lot of good stuff with Cyborg, but if they would let their character grow up. But again, when you're writing, these characters, you give your interpretation of what you see or what you think that they could be or whatever, and speaking of Titans, Titans is a good run to grab, and Eric says still has his own book right now. Well, I just finished talking about it, Eric. Steelworks just finished. It was 6 issues, and it was decent. It was pretty good. But yeah, it just ended. So, I can't. I'm enjoying the Jon Stewart DC stuff. War Journal has been pretty good. There's only been 2 issues out. They've been kind of dragging their feet, putting it out or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see. But the Dawn of DC stuff, man, it's not really been that good. And I think this is like a 12-month thing that they're doing. So it's no guarantee that this stuff is going to continue to go on and go on and go on and stuff. But that's DC being DC, doing DC stuff. So yeah. So Durga says, what's your favorite Spawn storyline? I'm actually enjoying Spawn as it is written right now. Now, I enjoy Spawn. I'm enjoying the current run of Spawn. Matter of fact, I'm enjoying Gunslinger Spawn. I'm enjoying the Scorch. I'm enjoying King Spawn. It's been pretty good. I gotta say, shout out to Uncle Todd. He's doing his thing. So, but as far as the stories in Spawn, I enjoyed the very beginning of Spawn. Spawn issues like from 1 to like issue 30, been pretty cool. It started to get real dark. I left Spawn for a while. It got real dark. I don't know what McFarlane was on, but he just went to some very, very dark, sacrilegious places at one point around issue 100, 140, somewhere in there. But it was just really dark, whatever. I came back to Spawn later on, but I've been enjoying this iteration of Spawn. I gotta be honest, in modern time, this is probably my favorite stuff. This whole thing about him, trying to get to the throne of hell to stop Cagliostro, aka Sin. That's been pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? Because if you know anything about Spawn literature, Cagliostro is this guy that's been kind of mentoring Spawn from the very, very beginning. It turns out he's been one of the orchestrators of the shenanigans going on behind the scenes. So it's been a pretty cool story arc. Eric says, DC's publishing style makes it hard for me to get invested these days. The reboot and drop series, way too much. The DC series I enjoyed was Superman Rebirth and the Super Sons. I don't even want to talk about the Super Sons. You know what? I'm not talking about John Kent. Y'all do what y'all do with that. Just, I'm enjoying, Batman is my tried and true character as far as what I enjoy. And Gunslinger Spawn, Eric, is what I love about Gunslinger Spawn is that they've literally he left the Scorch. And so he's been kind of just doing his own thing now, whatever. So I'm kind of digging that. But I guess he will at some point come back to the Scorch, but he's kind of charting his own path now. So it's been kind of cool watching him do that. It says, Russia says, it really got dark when they started introducing Witchblade in the darkness. Yeah, man, I was like, and the funny thing is that it took a dive. Like those books that when it started getting really crazy, the print runs on those were real low. And those books go for crazy money right now. Spawn is one of the all-time most selling comic books. But there was a time when the membership or the pulls for that book was real low. People checked out too. People didn't like what Todd was doing at one time. It's like, Todd, you can do a little crazy stuff, but you kind of like, we can't go down that street with you. So it is what it is. I'm enjoying the world's finest Teen Titans. It's a fun read. Yeah, that's been a pretty good read too. So Teen Titans, world's funny. I mean, this is what's in that cup. Man, you know what? This is Wakanda fat-free water. It's all it is, bro. It's just some fat-free water. I'm not like my man Paul. Shout out to Paul and Mark. On Friday nights, you get to check them boys out. They pour a little whiskey. They get it in too. round about the 2 hour mark, 2:30 mark, boy, it goes down. It goes down in Wakanda whiskey. Y'all check the guys out on Friday nights. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and transition. We're gonna talk to you guys. So what's on y'all mind? What y'all want to talk about? I didn't have a whole lot tonight. Next week's show is gonna be very interesting. I'm not gonna give the details, whatever, but I want you guys to come back. It's gonna be a little different. Got some things I want to talk about, but I didn't want to like do it tonight or whatever because I'm kind of like just chilling tonight. I don't want to get in deep. Next week is gonna be a pretty deep show next week. So, but in a good way. But in a good way. So let's see. Eric says, do you issues 150 to 250? A lot of money for him right now. Yeah. And here's the funny thing about the spec game right now. Spec is dead. Spec is dead. I thought I would never see the day in this time where we can say honestly that the spec game is dead. And I don't know if that's because the movies that Marvel and DC have been putting out have just been trash. But if you are trying to find a key, this is the time to go and try to find that key. The prices are not going to get, well, it may get better. They may go down a little bit more, but it's ocean floor now. It's, man. Ooh, when you can, I remember looking at Brother Voodoo, Strange Tales 169, thinking I'll never get that book. That book is now under $100. Tron World, what up, what up, what up? Thank you for the super chat, sir. Can someone please follow up with me regarding a major development about the Black Bill Finger? Okay. Now, pause in the background. So what I need you to do, Tron, okay, Tron, if you're serious, and I know you are because you just put a donation like that, salute, thank you. If real talk, send us an email. Send us an email at blackcomiclords@gmail.com. Either do that or hit us up on blackcomiclords.net on Facebook direct message. Because that's a conversation we got to talk about behind the scenes. We can get into it, but we gotta get some more info. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. Make that happen, bro, for real. You gotta follow up. If you follow up, you know what I'm saying, one of us, probably Paul more than anybody, will get with you and we can talk about that. And because that's definitely the Black Bill Finger. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for the drama. I got my popcorn. Berkeley says, came up with an actor to play Black Lightning. Lance Gross. Wow. The problem with Lance Gross is that, you know, when people go through that Tyler Perry, when they go through that Tyler Perry hallway, when they go through that Tyler Perry hallway, man, I just don't see them the same. But that could probably work for real. That could probably work for real, Pericles. Yeah. Yeah, that probably could work. Sean West says, I got you. Yeah, man, make that happen for real. No one has monies right now, so the keys are really cheap right now. Yeah. Listen, those of us that are collectors in this space, we spend discretionary funds, which means that, you know, money that doesn't, that's extra for us. That's not in our budget. That's basically, if you paid your bills, you fed yourself, you clothed yourself or whatever. Now I got a few dollars to spend on this, that, and the other, right? So that clearly there's not a lot of money a lot of people are spending. And it is what it is. Stuff is high, bro. Stuff is high than a cat's back. My wife went to the grocery store yesterday, and I asked her for some turkey deli meat. So when I take a sandwich to work, you know what I'm saying, I like turkey meat. That's my favorite. You know, as far as sandwich meat is concerned, I love turkey, smoked turkey or hickory turkey, and so it's like $9 for a little container. $9. So it's like, wow, this is what we doing. But so you just multiply that with everybody in the world, because it's just not happening here in America. It's happening all over the world. The people in Canada, from what I hear, are suffering very, very much. But the economy's in the toilet all over the place, and so people don't have the money to go out and get these. Yeah, Eric, that's what I said. $9. She bought it, so I'm going to cherish every bite. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, so I'm grateful that we got the funds. We had the funds for it. But yeah. So man, so to go out and spend money on keys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It has to make sense at this point. I mean, it's weird because there was a time when a movie was getting ready to come out, and that first appearance, whatever, it was Spike. When Monica Rambeau made her debut in WandaVision, I thought that book was going to really, her first appearance, I thought it was going to skyrocket. That book didn't climb hardly at all. Hardly at all. And, it is what it is. So I just think that the time of spec for now is over. But if you are looking for a particular key or whatever, the time to go get it is now. Because, like I said, like my man said earlier, people don't have the money right now. It's a buyer's market. You know what I'm saying? Buying the first appearance, first Blue Marvel and all that, the days of spending $500, $600, $700, $800 is over. That is done. Behind the scenes says Invincible and the Boys is taking away the luster of the superhero genre from the MCU. They are on top right now. They are. And I do not like the Boys at all. Invincible is cool. But I do not like the Boys. I like my superheroes to be super. I like them to have a moral compass. And Homelander and his crew don't. They don't have one. They don't have one at all. So yeah. True or false? The Marvels did more harm than good for the character of Monica Rambeau. Wow. You on one tonight, Dion. It's so I gotta say true. I gotta say true because I just put up in the chat, not in the chat, I put up a post in the Black Comic Lawyers group. Secret Wars, the first Secret Wars book, Secret Wars #1, published in 1984, has Monica Rambeau right in the center of that book, right in the center of that book. Now, I didn't use the post to like big up the fact that she was there. I mean, I did mention it, her and Stormer on the cover. And according to Dwayne McDuffie, 3 black superheroes on a cover makes it a black comic book. There are 3 black heroes in the story. Well, actually 4 if you count Rhodey, and you have to count Rhodey, but Iron Man's not even on the cover. That's the crazy part about it. So, but Monica Rambeau was on the cover of that Secret Wars book. And you think about her trajectory I can't say the word trajectory. You think about it, it was all there for them to do something amazing with her. Austin says, personally, I think the actress who played Monica Rambeau was that good. She is good. She is good. Tiana Paris is great. I love her as an actress. So the problem has been, I think, with Monica Rambeau, because she came in, and I don't want to get into this is when the canon part of me comes out, because her first appearance was Amazing Spider-Man, King Size Annual number 16. Okay, why is she not attached to Spider-Man? But they brought her in under Sword, and it's fine. It's okay if they did that. That's what the MCU does. They take liberties. So she could have, you know, they could have did more with her. In the movie The Marvels, they talk about how she could see light. That one of her superpowers, that they were talking about their powers, right? And she described herself as being able to see light. No, Monica, you can become light. You become energy as part of your skill set. And ironically, she says that in Secret Wars issue number 1. So again, they could have given her a bigger, glow up. She did pretty good for WandaVision. I think WandaVision was cool. I think she should have got her own movie. In my opinion, she should have got her own movie. Now, I understand wanting to put them all together and having them, Marvel's Fest, if that's the case. Okay, that's what y'all want to do. I mean, you gave Miss Marvel a show. You gave Captain Marvel a movie right between the two biggest movies of the MCU. Captain Marvel made $1 billion, right? Why? Because people wanted more. After Infinity War was over, we were so devastated. It's like, man, what just happened? Captain Marvel comes out. People don't like Brie Larson. Captain Marvel, the character, I think is okay. That's just my opinion. You guys may think different. But that movie made $1 billion. So you gave Miss Marvel 6 issues, her own show. You gave Captain Marvel 2 movies, 2 major movies. And she was in Endgame. But Monica, WandaVision, that's it. So yeah, I think it's on them. I think they dropped the ball on that. I think they were being short-sighted when it came to her. And it showed. It showed in the awareness of people. People still don't know who Monica Rambeau is. But yeah. Pericles says Method Man wants to play Bishop. Yeah. I think he'll be a good Bishop. Are they gonna make it happen? I don't know. I mean, he's a Marvel head. That would probably be his dream role. Who would you play to pick Bishop in his own movie? I think Meth could do it. My problem is what Bishop we gonna get? Are we gonna get Shag Bishop, or are we gonna get District X Bishop? Or are we gonna get Bishop Ward College Bishop? Are we gonna get the Flo and Jerry Curl Bishop? Are we gonna get the Perm Bishop? Which Bishop we getting? I'm just asking. These are things I need to know. So yeah. So Eric says, oh, let me get to Frustrated. Frustrated says she was never a sidekick, and to me it seemed like the MCU wanted to make her a sidekick. Facts. I think that's exactly what they went for. And you can't give a character with her skill set, her power set, that billing. It just doesn't make no sense at all. But that's literally what they did. This is the reason why the MCU is in the toilet like it is. It is. So let's see. Eric says, I hate the liberties that the MCU took What they did to Marvell and the Hulk was criminal. They should be serving 20 years with the possibility of parole. 15. Well, see, that's the thing about the MCU. The MCU has never mistaken itself for being canon conscious. That is just not what they want to do. They've been doing race and gender swaps for the longest. And it don't stop. I mean, they did it with binary. So I don't know, guys. I just, me myself personally, I have come to the realization, and I am, and I've said this on my show, I am black pill when it comes to this stuff. Meaning that I don't expect it to change. I don't expect it to get better. I go into this with realistic expectations, meaning that I don't hold out hope for them to do better or for them to do something right, because they have shown their hand. They've shown their hand, guys. They're not interested in doing what's right. They're interested in getting people in seats. Now, the problem is the people that were supposed to be in the seats are no longer going to the theaters to watch their product because their product is trash. You put out a movie like The Marvels, right? And it's all there for you to market to young girls and to women and empowerment and all that stuff. Guess who went to the theaters to see the movie? It was men. Wasn't women. It was literally guys. The money that they did make, quote unquote, in the theater was spent mostly by guys. The ladies who it was for didn't even go to the theater. We were happy with the creative choices that wasn't canon to the comics until Endgame. A good movie and a good story makes us quiet on the comic book accuracies. Facts. Behind the scenes says, are we getting Black Super Love in Captain America 4? Or is Sam too busy to get busy? Well, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Captain America 4 is undergoing a lot of reshoots. And from what I understand, a lot of them. Which tells me that they had an idea for a movie and they decided to scrap it. They're literally doing reshoots. And from what I understand, it's just not a couple. It's almost like half the movie. So I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think it's in their interest to bring in someone like Misty Knight, which would be great. But am I expecting them to do that? No. I just don't. I just don't expect them to do that. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I just see it. I see the reality of what it is. I just don't think that they're interested in wanting to give something like that. It has too many. It's too much like right, if I can say it like that. So yeah. Resident 76 says Michael Jai White for Bishop. I'm about to log off. Y'all don't stop. It's time to go. It's time to go, man. So listen, what else we got? Personally, I think Kevin Feige needs to go. He's not motivated anymore. I don't think he is. I think that they had a good run, and after Endgame, I think it just kind of, I think they got kind of lost. I think they initially had a plan, and they weren't able to execute it because I think they were trying to do what they previously did instead of changing and just wanting to because I'm gonna be honest, I thought that what they could have done is kind of what they tried to do with the shows, which was give us things that are completely separate from this timeline. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to do everything and for all of it to connect together. You don't need to do that. You could tell a one-shot story. It's kind of like what they did with the Werewolf by Night, um, the Moon Knight series, that doesn't really connect to anything. I think they could have went in that direction. Even when it comes to like the mutants or whatever, I don't know how they're gonna make that happen. We got mutants at the end of the Marvels movie, with Beast and with Binary. So they keep these mutants keep popping up, but there's no sign of the X-Men. I'm like, make it make sense. It's like they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. Well, when they gonna get here? Yeah. Marketing to an audience that doesn't exist. Yeah, that's what they did. WNBA is the Marvels, the WNBA of superheroes. Yeah, man, that part. So I think the death of Chadwick Boseman forced him to scrap everything because Boseman's Black Panther was going to be the focus of the MCU. Frustrated. I think there's some truth in that. I think that the Black Panther that we got on screen. Me and Paul have talked about this over and over and over. That the closest Black Panther we've gotten in the movie was Civil War. That we never really seen the real Black Panther on the movie. But Chadwick Boseman took the character and embodied the character so much so that he was a fixture, and that his presence of not being there has definitely jacked him up. I gotta say, I definitely will say that, and which is why the recast situation is unfortunate in the sense that it shouldn't take us screaming, yelling, and pleading for them to recast the character. It should have been a far gone conclusion that that's what we're going to do. I feel like that's what they should have done. But I mean, and I try to see all sides of things. Now, I think that when you work with somebody, and I think Chadwick Boseman was that kind of guy. He was very magnetic, charismatic, very humble energy. And he really just, to watch him, listen, if Chadwick had lived, in my opinion, he was going to become the premier Black actor. Period. I think he was the heir to the throne as far as Denzel, the status that Denzel holds. He was headed that way fast. Because the characters that he embodied, whether we're talking about Marshall, whether we're talking about Jackie Robinson, whether we're talking about Black Panther, whether we're talking about James Brown, all of these are notable Black icons. And he knocked it out the park. Flawless. The Black Panther stuff, I don't even think that was hard for him. I don't even really think he was challenged. I think he just was someone who studied, learned, and embodied the character, gave them the knowledge and sense that we're not doing this as British people. We're doing this as African people. We're going to give this a 100% African aesthetic, whether we're talking about speech, the whole 9 yards. He did that. He knocked that out the park. And when he passed, you had these camps start to set up. People didn't want the character cast. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people that was hurt. I've shared this story, and I'll share it again. But when I found out that he died from cancer, that hurt me, man. That hurt me on a personal level, because prior to that, I found out I had cancer. Okay. And as a comic head who had been looking forward to this movie, I can't speak for no one else. I can only speak for Rich. And so what you're getting is and for some of y'all have heard the story, and for some of y'all, you may have not heard this story before. But I'm talking about my story. When I found out I had cancer, my thought was, am I going to die? No, my thought was, am I going to miss the premiere? That was my thought. I was looking forward to seeing this movie, and in the midst of living life and doing what life does, I found out I had cancer. And one of my thoughts was, man, I hope I'm not sick to where I can't go see this movie. I was so motivated to see the movie on screen that was one of the things. It might be small for you, but I'm gonna tell you something about hope. All hope needs is a crack, a little space of light, and that will do a wonder for you. Will do a wonder for you. So I went to the theater and I got to see the movie that night, the day that came out. I was at the theater, right? Saw it, loved it. I saw it twice before I took my wife to see it. I saw it twice before I took her to see it. That's how much I was in love with that movie. And then when I found out that he was sick and then he died, it broke my heart. Because while he did that, he was going through treatment. He was fighting it. And I know that struggle because I did chemotherapy and radiation. And I'm going to tell you, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I never wish that on my worst enemy. That was hard. And for him to do what he did, the supreme performance that he put, that would take anybody out. Because I think that a lot of the point at that moment was people were very, very emotional and people started picking sides and stuff like that. And I was one of those people like, you know what? If he doesn't, if they decide to not do it no more, I'm good, because I had a personal connection more with the actor than I had with the character. Because I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan. That's how I felt. Now, did I go out and promote that? No. Because when I came to my senses and I came out of my grief, I was, they need to bring this character back. Recast. But those guys had to work with Chadwick every day. They had to be with him. They had to hang out with him. And, they had their own personal struggles. And so when Coogler did the movie Wakanda Forever, I told her, I'm not interested in going to another funeral. Which is not. But that's what we got. And so I'm still recast T'Challa. Okay? Standing on that hill all day, twice on Sunday. But I understand the other side. I just do. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it and I respect it. Because again, every one of us have our own personal thoughts as to how we see the character T'Challa. Love T'Challa. T'Challa is an amazing character in the Marvel Universe. And for him to not be present in what's going on right now, and frustrated, I think you said it, bro. I think that messed everything up. Because he was the chairman of the Avengers for a long time. Everything is still kind of centered around Wakanda. Even though he's not, quote unquote, there. He should be there. And it's not going to be right until they decide to go back and course correct. That's the thing about Marvel that they have not done. They have not course correct when it comes to everything they're doing. That's why the situation with Kang is frustrating for me, because Jonathan Majors is going through his drama, and a whole lot of people owe that man an apology. But I don't think Kang Dynasty is going to be anything, or could be, based on all of the outside shenanigans, the stuff that he was accused of or whatever. And he's going through his trial right now, man. It's unfortunate. Ryan Coogler deserves his roses for what he did to Black Panther movie. You tell me what other Black film led that has made that kind of money since? No one. But I think Ryan Coogler would tell him yourself that the reason why he was able to do that was in part because of Chadwick. He had a real brother in the foxhole with him. And Michael B. Jordan was able to bring Killmonger to life because you just saw all of this black excellence. That's why that film transcends the Marvel, the MCU stuff. It transcends it. It's literally above it. You don't really need to watch anything else. You can just watch Black Panther and just enjoy it. It sits as a testament to itself. They'll never admit they were wrong about killing the child. No, they're not going to do that, Chimon. I agree 100%. They will not do that. They will not admit that. Because to do that means that you've been wrong a long time. You've been wrong a long time. And your fans have been I mean, do y'all realize that and don't get me wrong, Black Panther Wakanda Forever had its merits. But do y'all realize that that movie was in essence trauma bonding? Name me another MCU film, show, clip, cartoon that has that distinction. That was trauma bonding. We had to sit in the theaters and relive something that had happened in real life. And it was so unnecessary. So unnecessary. So unnecessary. And you know, the funny thing is that as Black people, we're so used to trauma bonding that we don't really expect anything less. We don't expect anything more. I mean, Tony Stark in Endgame passed away, but we were spared the funeral. At least you got to see Tony. At least you got to see everybody that Tony helped and that Tony interacted with at the house with his family, just hanging out at the repast. We had to endure a doggone funeral. But that's your man's. That's your man's. Shout out to Kevin Feige and the good folks at Marvel. Can we talk about something else? Black people, it's okay to like having nice things too. Yeah, you're right, Paul. It is okay. It is okay. Behind the scenes says, can we talk about how Black Panther is more like African family drama than typical superhero movie? I think that's why the material is elevated as well. Well, you got a chance to see a black family. You got a chance to see Queen Ramonda. You got a chance to see Shuri. You got a chance to see them interact as family. I mean, there was a lot of elements in that first movie that, I'll be honest, we may not get that for a while again. And it was beautiful. And it's something that we all can relate to, because I don't have a sister, but I know there are people out there that do have sisters. And so the playful banter between Letitia Wright and Chadwick Boseman on screen, that was chemistry. They were able to do what they did because, one, they really enjoyed what they were doing. And I think that's what also elevated that movie to the status it was. They really tried to make this believable. And I think that they just took their that's one thing about us as Black people, whatever. We have a connection with our families that are, a lot like no other. Dirksen, what's your favorite kind of hot sauce? Why you playing, man? Hot sauce in my bag? Nah, man. Let's see. Talk about the Riververse and how successful it's become. Oh boy, here we go. I almost want to super. You didn't have to do that, Paul. Listen.
Oh, no. 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 No, 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 no.
I love that dude. So the you know, the Riververse has been one of the things, the elements in comics of late that we cannot ignore the success that Eric July has been able to accomplish. Now the question becomes, is that because of his book being that good? Or is it because something else? Is it because of his politics? Is it because of who he hangs out with? Why is this book as successful? Why is this guy successful as he is? I think it's a number of things. I think all of that plays into that. Eric July has had a YouTube channel for nearly, if not more than 10 years. He's built a platform and a base. He has a podcast for Call for Cannon's Sake that he's always done. He's a musician. He plays in a lot of different, he plays in a lot of different sandboxes. He's not a one-trick pony. And so if Eric July had put out Isom and no one knew anything about his politics, no one knew anything about him as a musician, no one knew anything about his relationship with Van Sciver and some of the guys at Comicsgate, would this book be as successful as it is? I do not know. I know it hasn't hurt him. I know that. I know it has not hurt him one bit. So what does he do? He goes and he gets a well-known writer, Chuck Dixon, and Chuck Dixon can write for real, for real. He puts out Alpha Core. That goes over 1 million in sales. He just, for those who may not know, he just connected Kanan White, legendary cover artist Kanan White, is going to be doing covers for him, for Yaira. So now he's got some brothers involved. I can't be mad at that. And if you know anything about artists, and if you know who Kanan White is, that's a major flex. That's a major flex. Can't hate on that. So how do I feel about it? Congratulations. I got to salute the brother. I can't hate on it. I may not like this, that, and the third or whatever. When it comes to actually getting his bread, putting out a quality product, I can't be mad at that. Isom #1 was great. I thought it for what it was. For a guy to just sit up to say and say, you know what, I want to do a comic book. I couldn't do that. I mean, maybe I could, but I just don't, none of us will wake up. If we're not comic book artists or writers or whatever, and we wake up and say, you know what, I want to do a comic book and do it, and we get 1 million people or $3, $4, $5 million in sales, all of us will sign up for that. But how many of us are going to do it? He spent his own money, bet on himself. I can't be mad at it. His success is his success. I mean, it's I would hate for us to just miss the artistry because we can't ignore the politics. I will say that. I don't think that we don't know any of these people. Let me be clear. We don't know any of these people. Now, there's a guy that just put out a book called Ministry of Compliance that some of y'all do not like. In fact, y'all
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no.
See, see. This is what happens when you get someone from Dakota Bass to produce your show. It's cool though. I was just gonna say he put out a book and nobody's gonna check for it because of what he did on a previous run. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know. I would just tell you might want to take a peek at it. It's a pretty good book. It's a pretty good book, guys. So he says, what happened to Black Sands? Black Sands still doing this thing. Matter of fact, Black Sands got a new book, I think, coming out this week. If I'm not mistaken, I think in the solicits, new comic book week, I think there's a new book. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think I did see a book getting ready, a volume. I guess it's a volume of books that's getting ready to come out that they're doing. I think this week. Matter of fact, this Wednesday. There are. Let me just jump on and say new topic. I agree. Let's see what else we got. It says Black Sands hurt themselves by trying to hate on the Rippaverse. Yeah, they did. They did. They did. A bunch of white people are spending money on a dark-skinned hero going to a dark-skinned family. Politics makes for strange bedfellows, Chillmonger. I mean, it is what it is. He says, and that book is amazing. It is. It is. They won't read it though. They're not gonna read it. Behind the scenes says Dark Horse Yanu has the show coming out on Cartoon Network. Brandon Easton is the showrunner. We better show up and show out for that cartoon. I think we will. Funny thing is, I saw that book's first appearance or that first comic book in a shop on the wall, and I think it was like $50 for that book. They want $50 for that book. I'm like, really? But I understand why. They're trying to see if they can get some spec money out of it. But yeah, shout out to Brandon Easton. He did his thing in that book. But there are a couple of books that are coming out this week, guys. Patrick Hawkins, Empath, issue number 2 will be coming out. You guys can go get that. Titan Beast World, Waller Rising. That book is coming out. That book will be out Tuesday. Catfight, issue number 5 is coming out. You guys should go get that. King Spawn, issue 28 is coming out as well. So there's a lot of good things coming out. And for those of you that are old school animation fans, there was a cartoon back in the day called Fire and Ice. Dynamite is doing a Fire and Ice comic book. Issue number 2 is coming out for that. So yeah, that's the cover for Catfight right there. So that's issue number 5. That'll be out. That's been a great story too. If you guys have not picked up Catfight, I recommend you go pick that up. It's about cat burglars. And it's pretty cool. All black characters. Not all black characters, but mostly black characters. The main protagonist in the movie is black. Oh, in the comic book is black. So yeah. Looks like Marvel Voices. Another Marvel Voices. Got the Monica Rambeau on the cover. I think that is. Yeah. So yeah. So some good stuff getting ready to come out, y'all. So go on to your shop, pick up some new stuff. There's a new Century book. I wonder what the Scotty Young variant. I saw a Scotty Young variant coming out for that. I wonder what that's going to look like. And of course, there's the Titans book with the Valzad right there. You guys go get that. The blackest, let's see, legacy characters. Vixen's on there, but legacy characters. Oh, y'all have that. Y'all have that too. So yeah. Behind the scenes says there's Thundercats has a new comic book. We got to support that because Panthro is black like Piccolo. Stop. Stop it. Stop the shenanigans, bro. We not gonna have that argument about whether Panthro is black, okay? You know, we got to stop that. You know, voice actors are great, and they could be black, just like GI Joe and the Transformers. You know, Wheeljack. I think that's on Scatman Crothers. We got to stop that. Can't wait for Waller Rising. Yeah, that'll be out Wednesday. Y'all go pick that up. Y'all go pick that up. Yep, yep, yep. So it's a few things at the shop that y'all guys can go pick up, man. Y'all yeah, make your way to the shop. And Paul, I don't know if you got a moment or whatever. See if you can find Eve Ewing's yeah, that Death of Wakanda movie was trash. You know what? I won't call it trash. Bang bang. I will. It was a good movie, but I just didn't like it. I mean, if I could take the merit, if I could take my personal feelings out of it and just kind of look at it for what it is and just try to enjoy it, I can, but I cannot ignore what happened with the character. I can't ignore what happened with the shenanigans with the producers and the directors and stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff that made that thing go wrong that it's just unbelievable. And I get it, man. You know, I mean, making Nakia baby mama and T'Challa Jr. a bastard, and that was not good. No, but if I had to like try to just enjoy the movie on the merits of that, I can. Yeah, that part. Yeah, that part. Speaking of which, man, what do y'all think? Since we on this Black Panther train tonight, what do y'all think is going to happen to Namor? Because that's a character, the first mutant that they retconned and made him not from Atlantis but from Talokan. Do y'all still think they're going to keep that up and put him in another movie? Because I have not heard anything about whether or not they're going to reprise their role of Namor in another MCU film or another MCU show. Let alone what's going on with Black Panther. There's nothing on the. He said Namor. Who? This funny, Paul. You funny. I mean, but that's another part. You know what I'm saying? If you're a comic head, Namor is that's a part of. Look, I get it. He's Black Panther's greatest foe. I get it, but are we really gonna just act like Namor ain't a character outside of the Black Panther lore? All of the stuff that he did with the Fantastic Four and that character, they I think aesthetically it was great. It was beautiful what they did. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the Aztec Mayan culture into it, but how's that gonna play long term? If that makes any sense. Especially as I hope they do. Namor is about to come no more. The actor is not guilty of his accusations. Well, that's the other thing too. Disney got their own problem. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, DC got Ezra Miller, and they guys, no means no. That's all I'm gonna say. T'Chaka is getting a push now. Yeah. We'll see. Oh yeah, not feeling the more with the bone in the nose. I need 007 Namor with the flat top. Yeah, well, that was different for sure. That was different for sure. I mean, again, I understand the aesthetic that they were going for. I'm just wondering how they were able to get that past the brass at Marvel. I'm that unless they were like, just do what you're gonna do, Ryan. Cuckoo Khan is temporary representation. It is, but I mean, see, like I said earlier, they refuse to admit they were wrong. They refuse to course correct. It's so much. Oh my God! You know what? Anyway. Oh boy. Well, there is a Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther book coming out. Y'all looking forward to that? And it is T'Challa. We did get the news that it is T'Challa. So we'll see how that goes. I hope Brian Hill writes. I hope it's fire. I really do. I hope it's fire. Atlantis Attacks could be easy 2-movie blockbuster if done right. They're keeping them more. Frustrated that we're going to really need the benediction. Amen to that. Amen to that. Look, guys, there's a lot of problems with the MCU, which is why we can't, those of us that are comic heads have to really, yeah, Chimanga, he was nice for mentioning that. I think that, the thing is, I think that a lot of times these guys, they are in our spaces. They watch our videos. They hear the news. They hear our complaints. They hear what bothers us. Now, are they empowered to change things? Most time, no, because Marvel has already made, or DC's already made their, they've thrown the dice on whatever it is that they're doing. But these artists, creators, they're in our space. And so it's kind of you know what? I don't want people just doubting that this is going to be something that let me just put it out there, because what that tells every Black Panther fan in particular is that you guys can go to this comic book shop and pick this up as well. That's what it tells them, because they want their book to be supported, and rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? So, it's goes without saying, man. The person who wrote that announced publicly didn't know Black Panther's first name. Well, no one's perfect, Chill. I think people, listen, there are times we'll hear something and we always want to be the first to kind of put it out. Let me, without thinking or without, clarity. And people and that's social media, you know what I'm saying? It's I gotta put it out again. But again, it's the Twitter streets. It's social media. It is what it is. We see stuff that be crazy every day. It's par for the course. Now you guys talking about, are they gonna kill T'Challa in the comics? I don't believe that they are. That's literally brand suicide. In my opinion, that would be brand suicide. You don't do that. You do not do that. You might be a troll, but you don't do that. Because people love their characters and they sensitive. So Grace says, look at all the firing since Chapek and shuffling the schedules and products. They don't even have to admit it. We see the course corrects in real time. Well, I need them to do it faster, Gray, because the situation with Blade is frustrating. Lord. Blade should be on the docket to be screened, and somebody at bar should have already seen the movie right now and have told us that it's a good movie or it's terrible. But instead, what we got, the rumor was that Blade wasn't even the main character in his own film. And that was, and stuff gets leaked and not in real time. So that probably was something from months ago when it finally did leak and we got the news or whatever. They were like, man, we can't get this. We can't put this out. We can't let this, because they already know that they were having problems. But to sit up and do something like that, for them to be that bold with that character, there was no way that was going to fly. I commend Mahershala Ali for standing on his square when it comes to that, because there's no way you're going to do something like that. I mean, Blade kills vampires. Why are you trying to tell a meaning of life story? Okay? What is the meaning of life to Blade? See a vampire? Kill a vampire. That's what that is. Nothing else. I don't need the moral of the story. No. What would you rather use, Blade? Sunlight or silver? That's all I need to know. What are we doing? What are we doing? No, I mean, just I said it last week, a week or two ago, whenever I said it. I was just take the whole Marvel staff and just put them in the foyer and just tell them all to get out and start all the way over. Start all the way over. Yeah. Yeah, Blade's got one job description. That's it. Kill a vampire. That's it. I don't need you trying to tell me how to be deep and how to be, caring and how to be compassionate and all of that. And, Black Lives Matter. No, vampires matter. So I'm gonna kill them. That's what that goes. That's how that goes. So anyway, look, guys, the movie stuff is messed up. Find a dope cartoon to watch. Check out Brandon Easton's stuff. Just find some dope comic books to read. Do not rely on the MCU. I've said this time and time again, and I will continue to hold a moment of silence for the MCU because it is dead at this point. I know everybody's excited about Loki, but I didn't even see Loki because I refused to give Disney any more of my money. I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it. Just not doing it. When a character like Loki is the best thing you got going on, and people are talking more about Loki than they actually are about Kang, who is really the quote unquote big bad that you're supposed to be promoting now. And you're doing a terrible job at that, and you want to blame Jonathan Majors' issues on that, but that's another story. Yeah, we got problems. I've been gave up debating with myself. Tron says, please remember Disney is only focused on money. They gave Marvel a blank check, moved heaven as hell as we must start allowing gore. Marvel has to get back out on the strip. Mickey, yeah, look, Mickey the Mouse is the biggest pimp there is. Don't talk to me about the pimps down there on the track. No, the biggest pimp in America is Mickey Mouse. And his pimp hand is strong. Yeah. Well, look, guys, I'm going to go and get out of here, man. We are hour and 40 minutes in, so we might as well go and shut it down for the night. I want you guys to think about go to our YouTube channel and watch the last interview. There was an interview that the guys did, Derek and Paul did with Tim Fielder, the writer and creator of Infinitum. Now, if you have not read the book Infinitum, let me see, I don't have my copy here. But if you have not read the book Infinitum by Tim Fielder, you are missing out on an amazing book. You should go get that book for real. But the Black Comic Lords had a conversation with Tim Fielder. It was an amazing conversation. Got pretty deep, and Tim Fielder was kind of touched that we really dug his book the way we have. Ever since Monty Latif turned me on to it, I've been a fan, man. That is an amazing book. And we did get word that he's working on the sequel to that book. So please go to our YouTube channel and check out the Tim Fielder interview that was done on Thursday night. We have some other things there as well, other interviews. Independent creators, we've got them as well. We did a roundtable recently with Varnell Young of Millennium Comics, the guys over at Concrete Advent, and others, you know what I'm saying? So we out here working. So just go to our YouTube channel, check out all our content, you know what I'm saying? Please like the video. Please share and subscribe. Tell a friend, you know, and don't forget about our ongoing shows, Wakanda Whiskey and Blurredom. That happens on Friday night. That's to get your weekend started. Paul and Mark get to talk about their favorite character, T'Challa, and they talk about the books that they read in the week, and they sip a little whiskey. And these guys are bougie. They've been partaking of the fine sauce. They don't do no MD 2020 Night Train or Thunderbird. No, these guys are bougie black men who love their whiskey. So check those guys out. It's always a blast. And you know, again, check out all our interviews and things of that nature. And you know, usually not every fourth Sunday, but every now and then, the squad will get together and we'll talk shop and we'll just run our mouths about whatever's going on. We want you guys to just support the channel. So again, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell somebody about us. Continue to support the movement, Black Comic Lords. And you know, we got lots and lots and lots of content. Also, go to our website, blackcomiclords.net, where you can read blogs, you can read interviews, you can find out, you know, notable black comic books, key issues. We got all kind of stuff there. blackcomiclords.net. We spared no expense when it comes to giving you guys the content that black creatives put forth. You guys go there, and I promise you'll find something dope to go to the comic shop to look for. We out here working, and we thank all of you guys for our support. With that, I'm going to give the benediction. The benediction comes from Psalm 127, verse number 1, which says, unless the Lord builds a house, its builders labor in vain. And then unless the Lord watches over a city, the watchman stays alert in vain. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich on behalf of Paul, our producer tonight. We want you guys to have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. We love you. Until next time, we say peace.